as much, or if it's not equal to, it's probably the most blitzes that we've seen in a preseason game, particularly preseason 3, and for us not to turn the ball over or having minimal procedural penalties, which I typically with the 2s and 3s I don't motion as much as I was motioning in this game, and that was intentional. I was trying to make it difficult and see how guys could handle varsity type pre-snap stuff. So very happy with that. Very important. I think you can see that we haven't missed a day talking about finishing, whether it's each meeting or each practice. It's been a very important part of the things that we've been doing, and that in conjunction with I think guys have really taken the opportunity to be leaders on the team, and really that leadership. You see the team is not only invested in each other, but they're very focused down the stretch, and having some young guys make some plays is gigantic. But I think it speaks to both those young guys, but as the collective as well, because guys are not missing an opportunity to try to finish something, because that's basically what our jobs come down to, is how you finish the game and try to get a victory. So I like the competitive spirit and the attention to detail, and the leaders staying involved even when they're not playing and making their presence felt, which I think was on display tonight.
What do you like about Malik Washington?
His personality and his play. He's a competitor that really is super fearless, and the moment is not too big for him. We, as a rookie, in the middle of the season last year, in a game that I think we were 2-6 at the time on national television. He made the third down big was it third down, or he made the big corner route completion, and I think that everybody saw that, on top of how he started the game with the touchdown, that he was a gamer. So his competitive greatness is kind of defined by John Wooden as being your best when your best is required, and that's Malik Washington to a T.
What stood out to you about Ollie Gordon's preparation this week and gave you the confidence to give him that starting role this evening?
Well, I think you can tell that he's doing a very intentional job at bridging the gap from the college position of running back to NFL running back. There's a lot more responsibilities, both protection and routes, specifically with what we like to do here. And it takes an adjustment that you can tell if it's too big for a guy or not, and it's definitely not too big for him. However, there's the biggest thing with rookies, and you hear it every year about rookie walls at some point in time, and it's a journey that has to be relentless. So it'll that's the next stage for him in terms of the next couple of weeks before we play a game. You can't take your foot off the gas, or you're quickly humbled. So it'll be important for him to continue his diligence, and not or get comfortable in being uncomfortable with his studies and his assignments, because he has to keep pressing forward to continue to have growth in his game like he is having.
Having Jared Waller go through warm-ups but not play, was that just to get him to go through a pregame routine, even though he hasn't had significant practice work?
Yeah, that was very intentional. There's him. There's a couple other guys that I kind of had to go through warm-ups, but I planned on not playing. and he had no setbacks. It was he had a good pre game workout, and so he looked good, and excited to see him next week.
I believe I saw Jason Marshall Jr. take some first-team nickel corner reps. How do you think he fared, and just where is he on the depth chart at that position, considering Mike Hilton?
I think I'll have to see the tape for the nuanced things. I know, for each play and how he'd grade out, but it definitely didn't look too big for him, and it's impressive because it's a more challenging position that you get really exposed if you're off your leverage or out of your run fits. You're essentially a DB linebacker when you're playing that position, and that was something that I think probably having Mike here has helped him in that process. I've been very impressed with how he's kind of felt or looked comfortable, and he's kind of shown off some of his physicality in that position. So I'm excited to look at the tape, and he's been progressing nicely in a way we needed him to.
You talked about Devon's ownership of the playbook. How is he coming along, and also how has he helped Ollie since he's been out here a little bit?
Well, Devon's there's been no setbacks with him. I look forward to getting him out there in a helmet and shoulder pads again, and he's been instrumental because he's not too far removed from being in the shoes of a rookie or and learning the offense, but he's super prideful with his ownership, and we've over the last couple of years have moved him around everywhere. So, and he understands, I think, the offense very clearly. So that's always beneficial, especially when he's looking to help. He's kind of expanded it in his own little leadership role, which has been really cool to watch him mature in that way and take ownership and pride in leading that room.
What are at the risk of sounding like Barry Jackson here, what are the next 72 hours like for you? Like, do y'all keep essentially a running list of your initial 53-man rosters, the evaluation process like ongoing over the next couple of days? How does that work?
Try to keep a clear mind, even though you have your certain inferences. You try to keep a clear mind when you watch the tape, to let the tape tell the story, and then what I do know is this team and the collection of 90 have made our jobs very difficult. So the way that looks is you go in tomorrow morning, you watch the tape with the coaches, and I'll get together with all of them, and then get together with the coordinators and with Chris, and we'll start chopping away at some of these difficult decisions. But it's not easy by any stretch. I really keep myself from making any rush to judgment, and allow guys to really play it out and try to settle things on the field. So that involves both game tape and practice tape, a lot of tape of what their resume essentially, and then fitting that puzzle piece together, which is your 53 plus 16, and we'll be we're hours away from that.
Can we get an update on Liam Eichenberg? Is it possible that he might begin the season remaining on the PUP, or is he going to be healthy enough to be on the 53?
Yeah, no, those things we're kind of ironing out in the next 48 hours. I don't foresee him being immediate return. I don't foresee it being season long. But these are all the things that we have to take very due diligence. When you're talking about the amount players that you can list in one way, shape, or form or the other, and when their availability will be when their availability will allow for their return. So that's an exact topic that will be substantially addressed in the next coming few hours.